we are so appreciative to be here today. One thing I want to say to every single one of the new people that are here, don't get scared with all the clapping, all the screaming, but never lose your enthusiasm for some professionalism. And never lose your professionalism for enthusiasm. We come here, this is a business event, we came here to learn, we came here to take notes, we came here to take action, but one of the things we want to give you is enjoy the process. You need to come here with excitement of your future, what's going to happen. Every single one of the speakers that came to the stage are the results of a system. We're nothing special, nobody here is special, we're just a product of a system that is proven that works, for the people that make it work. And our job today is to interrupt Jackie a couple of times.
Always interrupting each other. I wanted to add to that. You know, Megan said something. She said, I just can't believe I'm up here and I'm not perfect. And I used to think I'd never be able to be on stage and I'd never be like them. And I was by the pool today and I had some similar questions where sometimes you're not sure that you're going to be able to get to the point of the people that you see on stage and you hear them say, you know, we're not perfect. And I think what I used to tell myself is, okay, I understand that you're not perfect, but I'm like way worse than you. And that would keep me from, you know, some limiting beliefs thinking that I could make it too. And one thing we've taken away from this process and moving our business forward is understanding I have a different perspective than you have. Who's here for the first time? First convention. Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Wow. I can't tell you what a treat you're in for this weekend and how thankful and how much I love you even though I don't know you. But sometimes I have a different perspective than you because I know that you're so much closer than you think you are, and you think you're so far from me. It's like me giving you directions to get to my house and you're lost and you're not sure where you're going, but I know you're right by my house because I've done the journey. So sometimes you have to trust and have faith that you're not really as far as you think you are. And you learn the polished things and you learn, you know, how to speak on stage. It's not really that big of a deal. A lot of it's confidence and you know, building your skill set so you know what you're saying and you feel confident in what you're explaining to people. But you certainly can be up here. And that's always our message for everyone in the room. Something that we wanted to talk about tonight was helping you become strong and equipped in your business. Our goal is to help you start winning in your life as soon as you can. And before I even talk about this, I do want to say that I am just so filled with joy being here this weekend. We got here yesterday and I have just been belly laughing the entire weekend. And I can't tell you how lucky you are to have the leaders that you have in your life in your corner as your upline. And we are so looking forward to the day that you guys come behind the curtain. And I mean, I had so much fun. I was just laughing so hard with Mike and Dana doing the merge yesterday. And, you know, we were with the Grodies and we went to a Popeyes in the middle of the night. And it was just so much fun. It was things out of a movie. And Anthony and Danielle and CNI and Sean on the event call organizing, you know, parts of the event. And we just have so much fun doing life together, and that's what it's all about. That's why we want to be here, and that's what we want to help you to be a part of, if you believe that you can be a part of it. Belief is a big thing, and then I'm going to stop so you can talk. When you're winning and you're happy, you're confident. I think what I meant to say is when you're winning, you're happy and confident. But, you know, you can mix it up a little bit. And when you're winning and confident, you believe. Right? And when you believe, you talk to people. Nothing happens until you believe. And that's something that you create within yourself. And that's what we want to help people understand as they're building their business from a position of strength. We're not doing things or saying things because we think we should say them or we think we should do them. We're doing them because we understand and we believe in why we're doing what we're doing.
First, we all need to understand what we earn at the moment that we got launched. When we got launched, we just believed that we became part of an elite team. That's true. But we got the opportunity to be in business for ourselves. And having the opportunity to be in business for yourself is something that in many countries in the world is a privilege. Here in America, it's something that some people don't even pay attention to. When you launch, first thing you understood is it's going to be low cost, but it's not going to be low effort. We're going to compensate with work what we did in money. And the first thing is that low cost, we started our business 10 years ago, can become a profession for me and Jackie. The difference was what we did with that. We put our effort into this business to create the value. The second thing is we did it on our spare time. But when you understand spare time is just doing what you remember. And spare time is having a consistent work ethic in that time that you have available, because we know there's two things that you don't have. You don't have time and you don't have money. So when you don't have time and don't have money and you don't build your business because you don't have these two things, is making a decisions based in your past. That's the reason you got launched. So every decision you make from this point on should be based in the future you want to live, and you want to have time and you want to have money. And if you want to have time, you're going to save the time to invest the time to have the time. And if you want to have money, you need to save the money to invest the money to have the money. If you don't save and invest it, you're never going to have it. And one of the things we need to understand, it doesn't matter that you have a lot. It doesn't matter if you don't have any. The only thing that matters is what are your values? What's the life you want to live in the next 5 to 10 years? And what's the changes you're going to do in your life to deserve that life? We don't get what we want. We get what we deserve. And the third thing is we get a mentor. Low cost, awesome. In spare time, stop drinking whiskey with my friends, playing dominoes, seeing baseball, and having a mentor. Having a mentor, people confuse it with having a coach. Coach is one of those people that ask you for money to teach you what they know. Tony and Vinny and Dana never asked me for 1 cent to teach me what they know. The difference was I needed to earn their time to get their time. And that was the biggest difference. The only way they will keep giving me their time is I was still earning their time. And my job in these last 10 years is never give Tony and Vinny and Dana one single reason for them to not give me their time. One of my biggest nightmares was waking up one day and seeing a phone call from Tony telling me, Luis, we're not going to travel anymore to Dominican Republic. We find a guy next door in New York that is easier to help. So I wanted to be that guy that I'll never saw as a problem. I want my mentor to see me as a solution. So for me, my bigger nightmare was thinking my mentor has somebody to help that's easy to help me. So when you get a mentor, it's not going to be beautiful. One of my favorite movies is Karate Kid. And this Miyagi, this mentor, met this kid, Daniel-san. And Daniel-san wants to learn how to play karate, how to defend himself, how to be equipped for life, how to be strong, how to not be bullied in school. And Miyagi told him, yeah, come early, I'm going to teach you. And the first thing that Miyagi did was test him. Wax all those scars. You put wax, remove the wax. You put the wax, remove the wax. And he was testing his attitude, he was testing his obedience, he was testing his discipline, he was testing the mindset in this kid to see if he has potential. Because we believe a sharp guy is one that have a nice suit, he speak nice, look nice, but if he doesn't have discipline, he doesn't have patience, he doesn't have attitude, for me it's not sharp. So when he put this kid to put all this wax, the kid finished at the end of the night and he said, you took advantage of me. And he said, why you say that? I came here to learn and you make me wax your cars. And Miyagi just throw one punch and the reflexes for putting the wax and removing the wax make the kid defend himself. And the kid thought, oh my God, I'm learning how to fight. And I remember the answer from Miyagi, you're learning how to fight my way, not your way. And one of the things is your way doesn't work. That's why you're here. And if you came here, one of the main things you need to get is the way from the people behind the stage works. I just submitted to Tony Pappalardo, Vinny and Dana, and we were Hungry Homeless Mara representative for 10 years. That didn't matter what happened. The only thing they promised me was their time. They didn't promise me result. They promised mentorship. And that's what we got when we launched. So what a mentor have to teach you? The first thing a mentor have to teach you is how to create a team. And if he need to teach you how to create a team, you need to learn from somebody that has created a team. And if you see a room like this, I think it's totally evident that the people running this event know how to create a team. So you need to ask yourself this question. If you go to your boss and tell them, please teach me how you do what you do, tell me how you create this company, how many years it took you, how much was your investment, and he teach you what he knows, in 2 to 5 years, you're gonna become his competence, his adversary. Because if you know what he knows and you do what he do, splitting business. This is a business of collaboration, not competition. So that's the first thing. That's one of the reasons I value this mentorship so much. This is the only place I've seen that a person that have a big business is willing to teach you how to create a big business. Second, leadership. One of the things you need to understand, a mentor needs to find the people to put it in the right place, no matter what. We don't want you perfect. We want you willing to learn, willing to work, willing to come, willing to be positive, willing to pick up the trash from the floor, willing to be the difference in the room so you can make the difference outside. So when you do that, you become a leader. Third thing, the leader second thing the leader needs to understand, you need to reduce the group to increase the impact. You're not changing the world with everybody. You need to find the best people out there. And the best people out there are not commons. They're like eagles. They fly alone. They're different. They're black sheep. They're purple cows. They're whatever you want to call them. They're different. And when you come to this room, you say, oh man, this is different. It's supposed to be different. Supposed to be different. Supposed to be a different environment with positive people, get together, have a dream, work hard. It's supposed to be different. And the next thing is intelligence, emotional intelligence. When we talk about emotional intelligence, it's asking the right question to the right people. And when you're equipping your team and you're helping your guys, one of the things they need to understand is they can be asking the right question to the wrong people. If you want to go to battle and you want to create a team and you want to get in shape to that battle, will you go to the gym with Arnold Schwarzenegger, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, with The Rock, with Steve Austin, with The Undertaker? In 5 years, hanging around those guys, how are you going to look in 5 years? How the battle's going to be if you're hanging around with these kind of people? But if you go to the gym with Teletubby, Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, you're going to be in 5 years colorful, fluffy, but you're going to fail in the fight. So, you need to choose your association wisely. And when I say choose your association wisely, you need to be watching to the stage. Those are the people that know how to build this business. Sometimes there are people outside that know more than Vinny Pappalardo always make those comments. But if you come to this event, make sure you are in the event. Make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you're immersed in this environment. Third thing is financial intelligence. It's not about making money. It's about keeping it and multiplying it. Anybody can make money. Dominican players, they're the best at making money and getting broke after they retire. They made money, but they didn't keep the money. So keeping the money is emotional intelligence. And teaching people having a good budget is not something that you need to like. It's something that needs to work. And we come here to get good at the things we're bad, so it doesn't have to be the way you always have done it. I need some changes. And by multiplying money, you need to create something that can put money in your pocket eventually. And creating an organization of leaders in the future, working hard, it will take time. But organization of leaders eventually can produce an income. And that's why we're here. We came here to learn how to create a business. When we start our process, there are two things we need to understand. First is mechanics. And the mechanics are the things that you listen in the audios. It's the thing that you come to a meeting, and the mechanics is how to drop the message, how to sell a product, how to have a budget, everything. You know the mechanics a person can get. But some of the things I've seen that people never get to understand is the mindset. And the mindset is a process of developing yourself as a leader through a mentor, through a person that is guiding you step by step in the things you need to learn and the things you need to do. And when we talk about mechanics, there's going to be a balance between the systems and the frequency. You can have the best mechanic in the world throwing the ball, but if you don't throw the ball, you can have the best mechanic about dropping the message, but if you don't drop the message, you can have the best mechanic about having clients, but if you don't have any clients. But if you have the right mindset, if you have the right way of thinking, like Jackie mentioned, your emotions will be an indicator of your education. Emotions have to be indicators of where you want to go in your life, how do you behave? Because behavior cannot be attached to emotion. Behavior must be in alignment with your values. Your behavior should be aligned with your values. The first stage in the business is only for optimism. You think you know, but you don't know nothing. Then you hit your first wall. Your first wall is the physical wall, the capacities wall. That when you understand that you don't know what you don't know, and you understand that you might not have the capacity to get the results with the abilities that you still don't have. And when you get to that point, when you are with uninformed optimism, is the lowest of your confidence at the lowest of your capacity. And that's for the new guys. You're gonna come here to learn a new thing, and learning any new thing in life, playing guitar, playing a piano, playing a video game for the first time, it's not gonna look good. It's not gonna sound good. It's not gonna be good. It's a learning curve. And if you understood that learning curve, you understand that the first step to getting good is being bad consistently. So you need to be bad consistently to get good eventually. But you need to go through that learning curve with a good attitude, understanding that every day that you're bad out there is a day closer to getting good. Second one is when you have informed pessimism. And that informed pessimism is when you have low confidence and you have some capacity. And when you have some capacity is when you get to that point that if you're not a quitter, it's gonna be a matter of time. You are not what you are. You are what you think you are. And if your mindset is making you think things that are negative, it's because you're not immersing yourself in things that are positive. Have you ever gone to a place that are playing a song that you don't like, and you don't like the song? Like, you are the best guy. It's only sound in Dominican Republic, only Luis Moret, okay. But the thing is this, you don't like the song, but it's playing in the gym, it's getting played in the radio, it's getting played everywhere. You don't like the song, you get to your office station, and you don't even know how, but eventually you are. I take you to the... You know why? Because you immerse yourself in the information. There's no way that a person that's getting educated is speaking negatively. There's no way if you're getting immersed in this information, you're not taking action, you're not getting emotionally attached to this, and you're not doing the right things because you're immersed in the information. And that's something that we need to do. Some of us are listening more music than audios. Some of us are paying more attention to Instagram app, to your system app. Some people are reading more the news than reading the book. Some people know more about the numbers of a baseball player than they know about the numbers of their own players in their business and the people around them. So you need to pay attention to the things that grow your business. So understand that. Last one, informed positivism. You have confidence, you have capacity, you have everything in you, you know it's a matter of time, and then you're just not thinking, can I do this thing? You're just thinking, how far can I take it? And when I tell you how far can you take it, is that you know how to drop a message. You know how to create one client. And if you have one client, eventually that client is gonna use the product, it's gonna run out. You have a second client and the first client run out. Now you have two, and you have a third client and the second and the first guy run out of product. And you have a fourth client and the three guys run out of product. And you have a fifth client and the fourth guy run out of product. You have a sixth client and the five old guys run out of products. And eventually, slowly, you're accumulating clients, you're accumulating conversations, you're accumulating experiences. And there's a time that the context of a cup can hold so much content. It's going to overflow. And it's happening in our team. We have seen the Cardonas. We have seen people that have been consistent in the work, and eventually it's going to overflow. And people say, oh, they got lucky. No, they understood. But for you to understand, you need to be consistent. You need to be immersed, and it's going to take time. So that physical barrier is, do I know how? Do I know how to build this business? I believe if you can read a book, you can listen to an audio, you can come to a meeting, you have your mentor in a speed dial in your phone, you can know how. The second barrier is an emotional barrier. An emotional barrier is, can I do it? I know I can do it, but emotionally, are you thinking, honestly, can I do it? And that's when you need to get around the people that see things in you that you don't see in yourself, because you need to have somebody in your life telling you the things that you don't tell to yourself. That's when you're gonna go over that emotional barrier. And the last barrier, the hardest one of all, I believe, is a philosophical barrier. And that philosophical barrier is this pain going to be worth it? When you get from a point of not quitting to deciding I'm going to win, when you get to a point of just staying in the business, to building, to win, to become a leader, I want to do this for life. There's no other thing I want to do with my life other than this business. Like Matt mentioned, you see the life of people change. We've seen our guys coming to our meetings having issues. Our sixth leg was a guy that owned a gas station, and he was the big shot. I'm moving 80,000 gallons of gasoline. I said, good, how often you see your kids? We have this other guy, he's a colonel in the military, and he said, yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, so how are you gonna move up? Somebody needs to approve you're moving up? So you putting your future into somebody else's hand? When you know what you have, nobody check your tree. When you know what you have, there's nobody that have the lifestyle that I've seen that's willing to teach me how to get it. There's people making money, but they're not willing to teach you. That's the difference. This is what I want to do. I remember listening on one old audio, and this guy talked about a pike fish. This is fish that eat other fishes, and they did this experiment with that fish, and they put it in this transparent fish bowl inside the water. He didn't saw the transparent fish bowl. Every time he saw a fish he wanted to eat, he was so fast to get it, and boom, he hit that transparent wall. And they put another fish, boom, he hit that transparent wall. And it gets to a point that in the mind of the fish, every time he saw the fish, he felt pain. Every time he saw the fish. They remove the fish bowl and they leave the pike fish alone. Just grab as many fishes as you want. And it was so ingrained in his head, in his subconscious, that the pike fish was so scared to try to get the new fish, they starved to death. And it was open. Nothing was holding it back. Just its mind. It's the same thing with some of us that have failed in something. And we believe that because we failed in something, we cannot win here. This is a clean slate. You can make this business as big as you want. The only thing that's holding you back is your mindset, and the business is as big as the mindset of the person that's building it. If your mind is good and your mind is big, the business can be as big as you want. So for me, I decide to be naive. I decide to be a dreamer. I decide to talk to my mentor and talk to Tony and say, Tony, what do you think? What do we need to do? What needs to happen? I'm talking to my organization. What we need to do? I don't know. I just knew how to make one contact a day. I just knew how to go out and have conversations no matter what, because I wasn't attached to the result. I was attached to the work. And the last thing is be unoffendable. Nothing can move you. The mindset of growing is the most important thing. When you come here and you're a phase A, first, you mentally commit. And you say in your process that you are going to read books, come to meetings, all those things. That's verbally committing. But when you're deciding to do it, you get physically committed. You want to say something?
Would you like me to? You're
Of
doing
course.
great. I love listening to him. He's such an amazing teacher. He is. Even in a different language, it can be so difficult sometimes to speak in a second language and teach things. And I'm so inspired by you all the time. We have so much fun together, don't we? Well, you did mention something about limiting beliefs that I would add is that part of being strong and equipped and being able to go out and build with confidence is that you're not carrying along the luggage, the baggage that keeps you back, that keeps you in the past. And I was by the pool today and I had gotten a lot of questions about that specifically. And I think for myself, that was something that I had worked through a lot because I often found myself just overthinking where I was and where I wasn't and what I should have done. And I just would feel so bad. And you're not living in the present when you're living in the past, right? It's the same if you live too much in the future and you're always thinking about where you want to go. It's good to have a balance. You know what you're looking to achieve, but you're also living in the present. And you're okay with the progress that you're having, like Danielle mentioned, having grace. But one, thing that I always have done whenever I have limiting beliefs, and you might be here today, and this is going to be a weekend that you come out of, and you're going to probably want to make some changes in your habits and in your mindset and in your attitude. Write down the beliefs that you have about yourself. Write down those things that you're hearing in your mind that are replaying. Write them down, because sometimes we're not even aware of the things that we're listening to until we intentionally focus on what's happening up there. And a lot of times I've revisited this, writing out the things that I'm thinking, and then I reflect on it, and then I say, okay, what do I actually want to see? And we always talk about the spoken word and speaking the things that we want to become. And I really believe that's such a big part of why we're here today, because we just kept picking ourselves up after the failures, so to speak, after not being able to have conversations, and after having, what we thought were failed meetings, when all along we were just getting closer and closer. And another thing that goes hand in hand with being strong and equipped is understanding all that he is speaking about and understanding what you have your hands on. And I know you mentioned Matt's name a few times, but Matt basically gave like a keynote talk here, what I felt, because you can just tell how much he's immersed in the audios. And that resonated with me, because you can really tell when somebody's listening, because everything that comes out of their mouth is goodness. And I know where those guys are headed who are up here on this stage, with everyone who is recognized, really. I'm so impressed. But that's what it takes. What we teach people is you need to be authentic and you need to be real. You need to be listening. You need to be inspired by stories. When you're going out and telling your story to people, you're sharing the impact, you're sharing the positive things that mentorship has done for you. And that's what impacts people. That's what they resonate with. We always do budgets with people, and we explain to people that, we're going to help you. One of the first things that we can help people with is their budget. And that's like a very quick, tangible thing that we can help people turn things around. It's a really easy thing to talk about with people. It's always having that focus on the things that are getting better.
Go on.
Okay. So that's what we're teaching people. And I feel that's a big reason that people feel strong and empowered. We're not forcing people to talk to people. We understand what we have our hands on. See, people pay so little, in my opinion, to get started in this business compared to a traditional business, like Warren always speaks about, that they don't treat it like a real business. And they treat it like a hobby, and Tony's always talked about that. You treat this like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. And we decided to treat this like a business. Another part about, I think, being strong and equipped in our business is something we don't talk about all the time, but it's really being on the same page as a couple and having great self-talk in your home, supporting each other. Everyone is so important, and sometimes you don't realize the role that you're playing. Maybe you feel it's insignificant. I can tell you that when I moved to DR, I had previously, like Megan had mentioned, I had built on Sean and Kayla's team. We both built the business as a single for 5 years. And I had learned different things, and I was, part of a growing team, and I was excited, and I was building the business as a single. And I had a certain expectation about what it was going to be like joining your team. And I remember I had so much friction because my expectation was just not what I thought it was going to be. And the way that I thought that I was going to inspire people wasn't working. And a big reason was, right off the bat, I wasn't able to speak the same language as my team. And it was a really humbling experience. And you start to learn that you don't really know the way that you're going to impact people. And you start to look at your relationship. And if you're not married here, that's fine. It's your relationship with your upline. And it's, how can we work as a team? How can we fill in the gaps? How can we be here for each other in a way that is different than maybe I ever imagined? I used to be more on the front lines, and now I love to be, in the background sometimes, doing the organization, setting up the meetings, pointing out things I notice in meetings. A lot of times you're doing the meeting in Spanish, and, it's a different role that I have to play. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. And sometimes when you're on your journey, first of all, as women, you have to realize how important that you are, any season of life that you're in. I've talked so much about that, and I'm so amazed by all the many roles that Dana and Danielle have taken on. Understand how important you are. And you have a lot more going for you than sometimes you think when maybe you're not the person making the contacts or doing the meetings. And you really, really matter. But it's all about the team. And I think that when we learn that and we stop, being in each other's way all the time about who is right and who has, the better idea and who's, when I joined Luis's team, he was the best. He was like I feel like you could write a book on how to, I don't know, join a business with a woman. I don't know what type of book that would be, but you were just so amazing to me because I came in very self-conscious and worried about what people were going to think of me. And I always have to remind myself that everyone's worried about themselves. No one's really worried about you. So I was all worried about that. I was worried about I wasn't going to be able to do the same work level that I was doing before. Now I have to adapt to a country. Now I got to get married, adapt to a relationship. And now I got to do all these things. And I had to learn that it's really a journey. And you figure it out along the way. And sometimes it's just not what you think it's going to be. And it turns out more beautiful if you allow it to be. And if you stop trying to control every little thing and make it work out exactly the way that you want it to. But we just kind of got out of each other's way and I think have really been on the same team. A lot of times we have discussions where I'm like, I don't really know if I see it the same way as you do. But we have to make a decision and we have to move forward. And we have to do what it takes and commit to the things that we said that we were going to do. So get on the same page with each other. Relationships are so dynamic. And we're so thankful to be in a room filled with great marriages. Because I remember looking at a Vinny or a Dana and a Warren and Vanessa, and I remember feeling very insecure in my relationship, wondering if I was going to be able, like, I did great as a single, but am I going to be able to be married and do this? Am I going to be able to maintain this? And those are the types of limiting beliefs that I'm talking about, that you might not think are at the forefront or make a difference in business, but really, really do.
I mean, just finishing, when we talk about being strong and equipped, you need to be strong mentally. Mentally to handle rejection, mentally to understand that you're going to be failing your way to success. And when you understand that, you see failure differently. First thing is your mindset. Second is your client. Third thing is having enough confidence to influence and impact other people. When you get to that point, teaching your people how to teach their people and becoming a teacher of teachers, it's going to happen over time. That's going to bring depth and moments. You're going to create mass. And when you start creating mass, when you're creating leaders over leaders over leaders that Vinny and Dana have, it's because they have become so good at equipping their leaders and preparing their leaders and giving them the time to be successful at their own pace. This is not a race. Anthony mentioned that before. One of the best things this business has is you don't have a clock. You can build it. I hope you don't take 20 years to build it. But if it takes you 20 years, it doesn't matter. So understanding that this business doesn't have a clock can be a good thing, but can be a bad thing. I remember one young kid that told me once in Dominican Republic, he was young, he had time to build it later. I say, how young are you? And he told me, I'm 20. Mark Zuckerberg finished Facebook with 19. I think you're late. It doesn't matter how's your age. You can be old at 19, you can be young at 60. It's a maturity thing. And the last one is leaders. Leaders is relationship. You need to get good at creating relationship with your people, become a friend. And when you learn how to make friends and influence people like one book, the system will teach them how to become good business owners. And we have an amazing system that can equip your people, that can prepare them, teaching them things that you cannot teach. Why? Because you don't have the amount of result that the people doing the audios maybe have. But if you're following the system, we're doing the same thing, but having a person that is speaking for a position of influence, from a position of results, can help you build your business on a faster way. Utilize the system, leverage the system. When you come to these events, make sure you bring people so they can learn things that you cannot teach. And the last thing, make sure your life become an ideal worth of emulation. Make sure your life becomes something that in the future people will say, wow, this guy had a life. This guy did something with his whatever, how many years God gave you in this earth. And when people see your life, they see an instructive, how to live a life worth living, not a warning. Careful. Don't do what this guy did with his time. Don't do what this guy did with his resources. Don't do what this guy did with his potential. Make sure every single one of you focus every single day. to become instructive in some other people's life. And for us, it's been a pleasure sharing with you, being here in this stage that we respect so much. We love this organization. We love you guys. We're nothing special. We just result in the system. And we love you so much. Have a good
Love
night.
you guys.
Goodbye.
For the calendar year 2024, the average income from Amway for all U.S. registered IBOs